We're on lesson 7 of chapter 2, which has us solve proportions using cross products. So that's what we're going to be doing first. Then we're going to write and solve a proportion and then use a scale on a map. First thing, solving proportions using the cross products property, which we learned how to solve proportions last lesson, but this is going to be much quicker and easier. It's good to always learn a couple different methods, but in my opinion, I like this one the best. So when we have the proportion 8 over x equaling 6 over 15, we can just multiply across the corners here, and then we can get our answer as long as you write it like an equation. So we could do x times 6 equals 8 times 15. Let's write that out. X or 6x equals 8 times 15. Let's solve that. 8 times 15, what's that? That's 120. So it'd be 6x equals 120. Divide both sides by 6. And that means x would equal 120 divided by 6, which is 20. So that was a pretty quick way of solving that proportion. 8 over 20 would equal 6 over 15. Now let's do this one. 3 over x equals 2 over x minus 6. So they make it a little more complicated for us here. So we can, multiply corner to corner. So we would do 2 times x equals 3 times x minus 6. And let's do distributive property for that. So let's do distributive property first. So 3x minus 18. So 2x equals 3x minus 18. Let's move the x over. Minus 3x. Minus 3x. This is from our last few lessons with variables on both sides. 2x minus 3x. The negatives win by 1. So negative 1x equals, and we're left with just negative 18 here. Remember, always take that sign before the 18, so this is a negative 18. Well, we would divide both sides by negative 1 because that's what we're multiplying times x. So let's do that. Divide by negative 1. Divide by negative 1. So that'll give us a positive x equals negative divided by a negative would give us a positive 18. So that one took a little bit while longer, but that's because of this extra step they threw at us. Here we have, each day the seals at the aquarium are fed 8 pounds of food for every 100 pounds of their body weight. A seal at an aquarium weighs 280 pounds. So how much food should that seal be fed every day? So here we're going to write this proportion. It gives us one proportion, right? 8 pounds food for every 100 pounds body weight. So we would say 8 over 100. So this would be 8 pounds food. This would be 100 pounds body. So this is our ratio here. It's a pretty high ratio of eating. Now we have a seal that weighs 280 pounds. This would be food or body weight? This would be body. Remember that since we have the body weight down here, this body weight also has to go in the bottom. You have to match that up and line it up. So 280 pounds body. And then what would x pounds food be? Or what would how much food would we need to get that? Remember, this is a proportion, so we need to put an equal sign in the middle. And now we can do cross multiplying to solve this. So 100 times x, 8 times 280. Let's solve that here. So 100 at x, because we did 100 times x, equals 8 times 280. So 8 times 280, what's that? 2,240. So 100x equals 2240. Divide both sides by 100. So 2240 divided by 100, that'd be 22.4. So a 280 pound seal will need to eat 22.4 pounds of food every single day. So we can rewrite this proportion like that. So 8 pounds of food for 100 pounds would give you 22.4 for 280. Now let's use maps and scales then. So on a scale map of Ohio, 1 centimeter represents 85 kilometers. On the map, the distance between Cleveland and Cincinnati is about 4.2 centimeters. So our question would be, how far away is Cleveland from Cincinnati then? So our ratio they gave us is 1 centimeter to 85 kilometers. So 1 centimeter, 85 kilometers. And since it gives us the centimeters, we're going to put the centimeters with the centimeters. So it'd be 1 to 4.2, and then we need to solve for x kilometers. So let's make this a proportion, and then with the equal sign, and then we need to cross multiply here. So we have 85 times 4.2 equals 1 times x. So 85 times 4.2, 357, and that equals 1 times x, or just 1x. And that would actually be exactly what we need. Remember, we could divide by 1, but that's not going to do us anything. So x equals 357 kilometers, and we were solving for kilometers. So that's how far it is from Cleveland to Cincinnati in real life.